If you're watching this video right now, there's a very real possibility that what I'm about to reveal applies directly to you or to someone you deeply care about. And here's what makes this information especially critical. Most people who are affected by these sweeping changes still have no idea that the rules have fundamentally shifted. Not next year, not at some vague point in the future. These changes are, in effect, right now, today, as you're watching this. Millions of people across the world hold citizenship in more than one country. Some were born with dual nationality. Some earned it through marriage or naturalization. Some gained it after years of living and working internationally. And countless parents don't even realize that their children automatically became dual citizens the moment they were born on foreign soil. The reality in 2026 is stark. Dual citizenship now carries a level of scrutiny, verification requirements, and legal responsibility that simply did not exist in the same way just a few short years ago. Welcome back to my channel, where I provide you with clear, fact-based, and thoroughly researched reporting on United States immigration policy, international visa regulations, travel requirements, and the global systems that directly affect your daily life and your family's future. What I'm going to carefully walk you through today is not speculation, rumor, or political commentary. These are real regulatory updates that are already being actively enforced at international airports, land border checkpoints, consular offices, and financial institutions around the entire world. And the people getting caught completely off guard by these changes are not criminals or people trying to circumvent the system. They're ordinary travelers, international students, overseas workers, retirees living abroad, parents raising families across borders, and regular people who simply didn't realize that the expectations and requirements had fundamentally changed. If you've ever crossed an international border using a passport, opened a bank account in a foreign country, renewed your travel documents, or planned a trip utilizing more than one nationality, this information directly matters to you and your family. These regulatory updates can significantly affect how you travel internationally, which passport you're required to use in different situations, what information you must legally disclose to authorities, and how easily you can move across borders without experiencing delays, intensive questioning, or financial penalties. Before we dive deeper into the specifics, let me ask you for something important. If you value this type of clear, accurate, no-hype immigration and travel reporting, please subscribe to this channel immediately and turn on notification alerts so you never miss critical updates like this one. In the comments section below, let me know whether you or someone in your immediate family holds dual citizenship and whether you've already personally noticed any of these enforcement changes in real life. And please share this video with anyone who might benefit from this information, because these details aren't being explained clearly enough in mainstream media coverage, and the people who desperately need this information are often the very last ones to hear about it. Let's establish something absolutely crucial right from the start. The regulatory changes that are rolling out throughout 2026 were not created with the intent to punish dual citizens. They were not designed to target immigrants or make life arbitrarily harder for people who live and work across international borders. What governments around the world are attempting to accomplish is tightening verification systems, improving national security measures, and increasing financial transparency in a global environment that has become more interconnected and complex than at any point in human history. The fundamental problem is that when enforcement mechanisms become stricter and automated verification systems become more technologically advanced, even people who are honestly and earnestly trying to follow all applicable rules can still get caught in bureaucratic complications simply because they didn't know what was now required of them under updated regulations. In 2026, small details and minor oversights carry much bigger consequences than they used to in previous years. A single missing form that you didn't know you needed to file. A passport that doesn't meet newly updated validity requirements. A name spelled slightly differently across various official documents because of translation issues. A foreign bank account that was never disclosed to tax authorities because you genuinely assumed it didn't matter or didn't meet reporting thresholds. These might sound like minor administrative oversights or honest mistakes, but in today's enforcement environment, they're leading to significant travel delays, mandatory secondary inspections at borders, unexpected and intensive questioning by immigration officers, and in some serious cases, substantial financial penalties that could have been completely avoided with the right information and proactive compliance. My goal here is absolutely not to scare you or create unnecessary anxiety. It's to provide you with clarity to help you thoroughly understand what dual citizenship really means in practical, real-world terms today, and what specific steps you can take right now to protect yourself, safeguard your family, and preserve your freedom of international movement going forward. Dual citizenship, which is also commonly referred to as dual nationality, means that you are legally recognized as a full citizen by two different sovereign countries at the same time. This status can come about through several different pathways. You might be born in one country to parents who are citizens of another nation. You might acquire citizenship through marriage to a foreign national. You might naturalize and become a citizen after years of legally living and working abroad in another country. Or you might be a child born overseas who automatically inherited citizenship from one or both parents under their country's nationality laws. In many cases, people don't actively choose dual citizenship through any deliberate action. It simply happens automatically as a result of how different nationality laws intersect and overlap. For most people, dual citizenship represents a major advantage in life. It offers greater travel flexibility and convenience. It provides visa-free access to significantly more countries. It enables the ability to live and work across international borders without immigration restrictions. And it offers the invaluable chance to maintain family ties, preserve cultural identity and heritage, and ensure long-term security and options in more than one place. In the United States specifically, dual citizenship is generally recognized and accepted under federal law. Holding another country's nationality does not automatically cancel or revoke your United States citizenship. There is no blanket legal requirement forcing you to choose one citizenship over the other. However, and this is where the situation becomes substantially more complex and legally nuanced, holding two citizenships simultaneously can also mean being subject to two completely different legal systems at the same time. Different countries maintain different rules about travel documentation requirements, passport usage protocols, tax reporting obligations, financial disclosure requirements, and even compulsory military service. These rules don't always align harmoniously, and in some cases, they directly conflict with each other, creating genuine dilemmas for dual citizens trying to comply with both sets of laws. As technology has advanced dramatically over the past decade, governments now share far more data with each other than they did in the past. Travel records, financial account information, biometric identifiers like fingerprints and facial recognition data, and identity documents are increasingly cross-referenced across sophisticated international database systems. That's precisely why the 2026 regulatory updates matter so profoundly. They're not fundamentally about targeting lawful travelers or creating obstacles for legitimate international movement. They're about closing gaps in verification systems and ensuring that identity records and financial disclosures are accurate, consistent, and transparent across multiple jurisdictions. But when automated verification systems become more sensitive and enforcement becomes more aggressive, people who don't fully understand the updated rules can accidentally create serious problems for themselves without any intent to deceive or violate the law. The consequences can range from inconvenient to severe, and ignorance of the new requirements is not accepted as a valid excuse. One of the biggest areas where dual citizens are directly feeling this enforcement shift is in financial reporting obligations. Over the last several years, and especially intensifying now in 2026, governments, including the United States, have significantly strengthened financial transparency laws and international cooperation agreements. These coordinated efforts are aimed at preventing tax evasion, combating money laundering operations, and stopping the illegal movement of funds across international borders. For United States citizens, including those who hold dual citizenship, this often means mandatory reporting of foreign bank accounts, financial assets held abroad, or income earned in other countries, even if those accounts were opened many years ago, even if they're rarely used or have minimal balances, and even if the money was earned completely legally through legitimate employment or investments. Many dual citizens incorrectly assume that if a foreign account is small, inactive, or located in their country of birth, where they maintain family ties, it doesn't need to be reported to United States tax authorities. That assumption can prove extremely costly. The vast majority of enforcement cases don't begin because someone intentionally set out to break the law or hide assets. They begin because someone didn't realize that a specific reporting obligation applied to them, or they misunderstood the threshold requirements. And once an automated verification system flags missing or inconsistent financial information, resolving the situation can be extraordinarily stressful, time-consuming, and expensive, often requiring specialized tax attorneys and accountants. Another critical area that continues to cause serious problems for international travelers is passport validity requirements. Many countries now require that your passport be valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended date of entry or departure. International airlines are legally required to enforce this rule strictly, and they can deny you boarding even if your passport technically hasn't expired yet according to its printed expiration date. This requirement is especially important for dual citizens who strategically switch between different passports depending on where they're traveling and which citizenship might offer advantages for that particular destination. A passport with just a few months remaining before expiration may not be sufficient for international travel, even if it was perfectly acceptable in the past under previous standards. Renewing passports well in advance, keeping careful track of expiration dates across all your travel documents, and making absolutely sure the passport you plan to use meets the destination. Country-specific entry requirements is no longer optional or something you can be casual about. It's essential for avoiding travel disruptions. Border security protocols and technology have also changed dramatically in recent years. Biometric verification is now standard procedure in many countries around the world. Facial recognition systems, fingerprint scanning technology, and digital passport chips embedded in modern travel documents are routinely used to verify traveler identity quickly and accurately. These systems are remarkably efficient when everything matches perfectly, but they're also completely unforgiving when it comes to inconsistencies or discrepancies in your records. If your name appears differently on 2 passports because of translation issues or cultural naming conventions, if your date of birth is formatted differently across various documents, or if your travel history doesn't align perfectly across interconnected databases, automated verification systems may flag your record for additional manual review. This doesn't necessarily mean you're in legal trouble or suspected of wrongdoing, but it does mean you may be pulled aside for questioning and secondary inspection. In those potentially stressful moments, staying calm and being completely honest is absolutely critical. Border officers are professionally trained to identify legitimate explanations for discrepancies. Name changes after marriage, different cultural naming conventions, renewed passports with new document numbers, and dual nationality itself are all common and perfectly lawful situations. Providing clear, direct answers and having complete documentation readily available goes a long way toward resolving questions quickly. Another issue that genuinely worries many dual citizens, particularly parents of young adults, is compulsory military service obligations. Some countries still maintain mandatory military service requirements, and those legal obligations can extend to dual nationals even if they permanently live abroad and have never resided in that country. For families, this can come as a complete shock, especially when a young adult discovers these requirements while trying to renew a passport or planning to visit relatives in their other country of citizenship. From the United States government's perspective, dual citizenship alone is not inherently a problem or disqualifying factor for anything. However, actively serving in certain foreign military roles, especially in sensitive positions or in countries with complicated diplomatic relationships with the United States, can raise questions under specific legal circumstances. These cases are relatively rare, but they're serious enough that they absolutely shouldn't be ignored or dismissed. If you or your child holds citizenship in a country with mandatory military service laws, the safest approach is proactive communication and research. Contact that country's embassy or consulate directly. Ask clear, specific questions about exemptions, deferments, or special provisions for citizens who live permanently abroad. Many countries offer reasonable accommodations. Ignoring the issue and hoping it goes away rarely works and can create serious problems later. Children and proper documentation deserve special attention and careful planning. Many people become dual citizens at birth without their parents fully realizing the long-term implications and responsibilities. When a child is born abroad to a United States citizen parent, properly reporting the birth to US authorities and securing appropriate documentation early can prevent enormous bureaucratic problems later in life. Adults sometimes discover years later, when applying for passports or jobs, that their United States citizenship status was never formally recorded, leading to extremely difficult situations with passport applications, educational enrollment, employment eligibility verification, or international travel. These situations are genuinely heartbreaking, but they're also entirely preventable with early awareness and proper record keeping immediately after a child's birth. So what should you actually do with all this information? First, organize all your citizenship and travel documentation in one secure location. Keep copies of birth certificates, naturalization certificates, all passports both current and expired, marriage certificates, and any other documents related to your citizenship status. Second, review your financial reporting obligations carefully. If you have any foreign bank accounts, investments, or assets, consult with a tax professional who specializes in international taxation to ensure you're meeting all disclosure requirements. Third, check all your passport expiration dates right now. If any passport expires within the next 12 months, begin the renewal process immediately. Fourth, if you're unsure about any aspect of your dual citizenship status or obligations, consult with an immigration attorney who can review your specific situation and provide personalized guidance. If this detailed update helped you feel more informed, more aware, or more confident about navigating your dual citizenship status, I'm truly glad I could provide that clarity. And if you found genuine value in this video, please take a moment right now to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so you never miss important updates like this one. Leave a comment below, sharing your personal experience or your questions about dual citizenship. Your story and your questions might help someone else watching this video realize they're not alone in facing these challenges. Share this video with anyone you know who holds dual citizenship or lives an international lifestyle spanning multiple countries. The rules governing international travel and dual citizenship have fundamentally changed, and not everyone knows about these changes yet. But now you do, and that knowledge gives you power, legal protection, and confidence as you move forward in your international life. Stay informed about policy changes, stay prepared with proper documentation, and I'll see you in the next update right here on this channel with more critical information you need to protect yourself and your family.